my most significant memory is coming back from Iraq the first time. But when those wheels touched the runway, and I still get shivers thinking about it, it was just like, hey, I made it through. I'm safe. I'm back where I'm back.
In Rockbridge County, we have an abnormally high percentage of veterans. Over a third of the homes in the county are veteran homes, and over 10% of the county, they are already receiving services from the Veterans Administration. The average county in the United States is about 0.5%.
My name is Michael Devers. I retired out of the Navy in 2006, and I moved back here to Rockbridge County.
I'm Richard Elias, Senior Vice over at the VFW.
I'm Major Jake Wilson. I am a small business owner in Rockbridge County and also in the Army Reserves.
I'm Tom McCraw. I'm the Commandant of the Rockbridge Patriots Detachment of the Marine Corps League.
I've got a couple branches as an officer, actually. I was originally commissioned as a chemical officer, but I've had assignments in civil affairs and transportation and logistics, and one of my deployments was as a staff officer in an infantry battalion.
When I initially came up here, I happened to meet a bunch of guys that were also Vietnam vets, and we drank very hard. I mean, many of the people around here just couldn't understand.
It's not having the majority of people around you able to identify with what you've just done and experienced and getting back to the pace of civilian life. It's hard.
Lots of nights I couldn't sleep, so I'd get in the car and just spend the night driving around.
Unilaterally, across the board, that's hard for veterans, is crowds. Very seldom will you ever meet a veteran that says they are comfortable in large crowds. Usually 5, 6, 7 people is about all that they want to be around.
But there was a time, late 70s, 80s, I didn't want to be around anybody.
And being in the woods and the rural areas and things that we have around here is a huge help for me. That is my stress relief, away from the hustle and bustle of towns and cities.
For me specifically, I would much rather come back to a rural area because you're not around as many people. And you have a little bit more time to just kind of breathe in the fresh, clean air, look at nature around you, and be with yourself and your thoughts as you go through that reintegration phase.
Well, it was nice and quiet up here. It was nice and quiet up here, so it was good for me.
I think knowing your neighbors and them knowing you and what you've done and who you are and things like that definitely helps you reintegrate and transition from a military experience to a more civilian lifestyle.
Being from a rural community, people know that you've served, and they're very quick to somehow support you in any way that they can. There's a Ruritan Club, which is it's a do-gooder organization, and they would come by, empty the trash, cut the lawn, check up on my wife.
What rural veterans do have access is they tend to pull together. So if they realize their buddy needs some help, hey, let's gang up and let's go build a ramp for him to enter his home, versus I guess a bigger urban city, you can get lost in the fray and you have to rely on formal resources.
Veteran to veteran discussions or help, or even just the camaraderie, makes a huge difference as far as, hey, this is what I did and I was able to transition to this job and it matched my skills and things that I like to do, and this is a company I really like, or the opposite they can share. That's, I think, the best kind of support system you can get.
And that's certainly been a good tool for me to help with readjustment, is getting back with those guys on a regular basis.
If you are a veteran coming from Rockbridge County, Virginia, you truly are going to have wheels strapped to your butt. our veterans have to travel north to Stanton or south to Salem in order to receive services. That means that they're going to be spending 2 hours in travel and or a half a day when you consider whatever service they might be going for.
There is a challenge, and I went down to the VA hospital yesterday, and when I came back, it cost between $25 and $30 to fill back up. So that was $25 to $30 that was coming out of my pocket. If I'm employed by the hour, that means I have to take the day off. Okay, so they're going to lose a day's pay, plus it's going to cost them to go down there.
Employers in Rockbridge County are vocally supportive of veterans, but I can say firsthand that it is difficult for the business to be able to accommodate the time requirements for a veteran to receive his medical services.
What I have noticed talking to some of the local veterans here, they are hesitant to put down their military service on their resume for that very reason, okay? Not knowing what the employer is going to say.
Well, Virginia is a leader in providing services to veterans. About millions of dollars are appropriated every year from Virginia, not just federally, but from Virginia for veteran services. We use our state agencies to help veterans in this area.
Well, of course, we have the medical center here in Salem, and we also have 5 community-based outpatient clinics to help improve access to veterans for care, primarily primary care and things like mental health. So we have one in Danville, Tazewell, Lynchburg, Stanton, and Wytheville, and I think Stanton would be the closest one to Lexington. We are doing some expanded hours as well because we realize it can be a challenge for especially young veterans to come to appointments, that type of thing. We have a rural health team that goes out into the community anywhere where veterans might be and informs them and helps them enroll for VA health care.
If you're going to look from a rural America perspective, the challenges that are out there, we've made some improvements. Is there more we need to be doing, and what areas would you invest in if you were sitting in this chair?
Yes, sir. There's a lot of room for improvement, and that's what we hear consistently from our members.
The only services that I know of that are here, it would be like the Virginia Veteran Services representative who comes here to the VFW. That's the only one that I know of.
We want to make sure that the resources get here. We hear about these great programs, and we read about them in the paper or about something that's gone on in Washington or in Richmond, but then the veterans out here end up waiting for them, and either they take too long to get out here, or when they get here they're not able to serve everybody because they've had to spread it too thin to serve all the veterans for an area.
My ultimate plan or goal would be to give those veterans access to care, easy access to care, and easy access to the care that they want. And whatever that looks like may be different for each individual, but to try to capture that and be able to provide that so that they can lead the lives that they want to lead and get back into reintegrating into community and becoming as successful as they can be.
The Shenandoah Valley Veterans Center is a place for services to take place, and it's broad. It could be mental health and behavioral, it could be reintegration, it could be employment training, entrepreneurship, or learning a specific skill.
It's given them a place to show up. It's given them a place to come be around people just like them.
So I have this outlet now with the Guard, but hitting my 20 years now and knowing in a few years I'll be out of that, I already recognize I'm going to miss that. And I won't have this group of common experience, common beliefs guys that I'll be hanging out with on a regular basis. And right now I don't have a very good way to replace that. having some kind of central hub like that around here, I'd probably support that and want to be part of that.
A slow road to build the confidence to make a future. And that's what the Shenandoah Valley Veterans Center is about. It's about making a future and owning the prospects for a better tomorrow.